Hi, this is Marcela de Vivo, and I'm here with Brent Csutoras from Kyrie Media. And we were having a discussion earlier today about Google Plus that I found fascinating and how Google Plus integrates into a social media strategy. Could you tell us a little more about that?
Sure. So I'm a big fan of Google Plus, but I think beyond being a fan of Google Plus, I think the stats are showing right now that Google Plus is fast becoming, one of the main social sites for people to interact with. I think that there's an obvious difference between social sites in general, and I think over time, we as SEOs or people that are SEOs or search marketers have really looked at Google and have really looked at having one source for our interaction. And I think that that has been some of the criticism to Google Plus. But I've made the statement before that I feel like the conversations I'm having about whether or not Google Plus is an important part of your strategy is very similar to the conversations I had 6 years ago of whether or not social media was an important part of the strategy. Google Plus has a different audience, it has a different interaction, but I think that as we continue to move to a place where more and more average users are participating in social, we're finding out that people really don't want just one source. They don't want one spot that they're looking to be a part of. A lot of the comments around Facebook have been that some people don't want to be on the same social channel as their family. So I think that Google in general has always played a major role in people's strategies. And I think that it's important to accept the fact that Google Plus is going to continue to play a major role in that. I think the real difference is, and the real important thing to focus on, is what the audience is like and what are you getting out of that audience. For instance, Facebook is very family oriented. Twitter is very on the go. People are typically checking it when they're in a line or something, or they're looking to just interact really quickly. And I think Google Plus is much more about getting information or talking on a professional or an educational level. And I think that that's where the real value comes in. I also think it's really impressive that the majority of what Google has accomplished is by making people use it without knowing that they're using it. I mean, there's a lot of complaints about Google Plus right now of, oh yeah, but how many of those were just automatic accounts that were created because you have a Gmail account? But the thing is they have an increasing number of active users. And again, the compliment on that is that, well, a lot of, you're forced to do that in order to comment on YouTube, or you're forced to participate because you...
That's a new development, right? Can you tell us a little more about that, the integration with YouTube and Plus?
Well, for the most part, they're just connecting all accounts. So YouTube was very separate from, Google in general as far as your account, being one account. And what Google has been doing with everything, really, is allowing you to have all of your services under one account, or to be able to switch easily between accounts. So the shift that we started seeing a while back was with Google Plus, you can connect your YouTube account and say, I want my YouTube account now to be managed under my Google Plus account. So anybody who's a manager on your Google Plus account could then access the account's YouTube account, upload videos, and participate. On top of that, they recently just rolled out their commenting elements of that. And it's been from what I have seen, and I'm not a very avid YouTube user, I'm not, it's not my area of real expertise, but I will say that the majority of the comments, even from people on my team, have been negative to it, because they went from a voting structure for their comments to a most comments structure. So now somebody can go in and say something, and they can comment on their own comment 100 times, and it shoots up to the top. So what we're getting is there's rampant abuse on the comment system, very, very low quality, and almost everybody that I've talked to or I've read from has been very unhappy with it. So I'm guessing that will be fixed or adjusted at some point. But
so do you think of Plus as its own social, is it a part of your organic strategy? Is it its own audience acquisition strategy? How do you integrate that into a social media strategy?
Well, I think that's absolutely a part of a social channel. I mean, it is a social account, and it is a social interaction, and there are conversations, and there's communities, and there's the same features and fundamentals that you would get in any social site. I think that the conversation about natural versus paid versus all of that is it's dated. It's a digital marketing strategy, and it incorporates many elements of all of those areas. And I think that there are significant facts and elements from Google Plus that outweigh a lot of the other sites, simply because unlike other sites who make partnerships, Google owns it. They own the video, they own the images, they own the search, the social. It's all incorporated. And as they continue to roll out devices like phones, and they have, Google Glass, all of those things are tied together and more cohesive, and they will continue to become that way. And I think that gives them an edge where, if you're on Facebook and you want to make a video, you're leaving Facebook to do that.
And now you have a really popular Plus community. Can you tell us a little more about that?
I mean, there's not much to say other than I do have a community called Content Marketing and Social Media. We have about 12,000 members, and it's growing pretty strong. The biggest challenge for me, as you've heard, and as this discussion is a part of that conversation, is it's been hard for me to get a lot of the influencers to come over and start participating. I got Eric Enga recently, I got yourself, I got a handful of other people who have started to participate in that community, which is helping it to grow and really strengthen. And I'm hoping that works in a way. It's my personal way of trying to transition more of the influencers and the marketers into using Google Plus and seeing more of the value. So I'm hoping that it accomplishes that, but that's really the only goal I have around that one right now.
So if you could give somebody advice on how to get started on Plus, what's the most important thing to do, how would they approach a marketing strategy on Plus? What would you suggest?
So what I would say about, getting started on Google Plus is very similar to the basics on a lot of social sites. You want to get in, you want to use the connections they have to be able to use your Gmail to invite people. You want to start getting a basic follower base, and then you want to start posting quality, resourceful things. I think you should absolutely join some communities. I think the easiest way to start really getting into that as well is to go in and join a community or look at some communities and see who's active and start interacting with them. There's a small audience, and anywhere in an early social community, anywhere you're going to find people are much more observing of activities. So in that space, you have a better chance of getting influencers to follow you.
There's a lot less noise, so you can actually connect more directly with influencers as well.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you very much, Brent. Appreciate your feedback.